Hey everybody, let's give a few minutes for folks to jump on. So I didn't announce that I was going live. It's my first live on TikTok. TikTok has been sending me messages to go live, go live, go live. I'm not really a live kind of gal, but I thought I would give it a whirl and we'll see if anybody jumps on. And hopefully you can listen to this later. I'm not sure 100% how TikTok works. I'm still learning. I'm a bit of a old person when it comes to this platform. I'm definitely a little more familiar with the other platform we'll go with. But I had a lot of questions on some of my posts recently regarding our light show and just how to get started. People felt overwhelmed. They weren't sure if they were able to ever put a light show together. And I mean, I think it's very obtainable. If you are thinking about it now in December and you're thinking about doing a 2026 show next December, that is good for you. That is when you should be starting. If you are thinking about doing one for this year, it is probably too late. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it takes a long time to get one of these shows together. There are some plug and play options like Mr. Christmas, where you can take some of the lights that you already have and you just plug it into that unit and it has music and it will play out. And then I've seen a few things in some of the box stores as well, that have features where you can do an app from your phone. Long ago, that's kind of what my progression was. I had a Mr. Christmas and then I went to some equipment, I think it was from Lowe's or Home Depot, and that one, it didn't work that well, and I really got a little frustrated, and I had always had this vision of having this light show, and I just wanted to go ahead and do it, and I was super nervous. I don't have any background in anything regarding that. I just love Christmas lights, so I thought, hey, why not? So I thought today I would go over kind of 3 things that you should be thinking about when you are thinking about doing a light show. So the first one is budget. If you want to go all out and get a larger system and really have a show kind of consistent with what we're doing here, you need to think about what your budget is, and really setting that up first will be a recipe for success. Because if you don't go into it with a budget and you just start buying things, it's going to be a problem, because these pieces of equipment are expensive. It depends if you have the ability to create your own controller boxes. Some people are really, really good fabricating items, and they can go ahead and create their own controllers, and they get the board and they're able to put it in. I am not that person, so I need something that is kind of ready to go. When I first started doing this in 2017, there were no plug and play options. I use a system through Lightorama, so I use all of my software and all of my controllers for my light show through Lightorama. There are a few other companies, I'm sure there's a ton of companies, but ones that I'm aware of. So X-Lights, Falcon, those things, I don't know that much about them because I don't use them, but I hear them mentioned often in a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in. And I don't want to speak about them because I'm not sure, but I can tell you with Lightorama, there is a really good customer service base there. And as a new beginner, when I was starting out, I had the ability to put tickets in and ask questions. So if I was programming something and I thought it should look one way and it's looking completely different, or it's not working at all, I could put a ticket in and they would respond and help me troubleshoot and work through it. There's also a lot of really good Facebook forums and groups for Lightorama, so that helps significantly. What I can tell you is my tip for those groups, the last thing that you want to do is jump in there in November and December and start asking a million questions and not know what system you're using and what equipment that you're using, because you will probably get some interesting replies back because we're all busy. We are all putting our lights out at that time. We are getting ready for our shows. So if you can tell us what system you're running, what equipment, what the issue is, you're going to get a lot of help and a lot of support through those groups. But just know that that's the busy time. So I've seen some replies and some interesting things. So as someone that's got a little bit of background in it now, I can say still a novice, but a little bit of background in light shows. Definitely heed that warning if you're going into it. So the big thing is when you're picking out or want to start a light show is really having that budget in mind. Understanding that if you're able to fabricate some of the controllers and pieces, it will be cheaper. If you are going to get anything through Light-O-Rama or another company, know that the controllers are generally a couple $100s. You will need a director, or you'll need to run something off of your laptop. I have the one laptop behind me that I use for sequencing, but I have a Showtime director, so I like to put everything on SD cards and I run it off of an SD card. It's really simple for me to go back in and just edit this if I need to. I did have to use my computer for a couple weeks one year. I had a system failure, and it's a bit of a learning curve between the two. So you might decide that you really like to use your computer, but I don't. I like to use the Showtime director to run my shows, and I like to use SD card. So again, first thinking about your budget, starting to explore, seeing what companies you might want to buy equipment from. Know that they're not all interchangeable, so there'll be different connections for some of your boxes, and understand what runs what. So when you have a regular controller, that's going to run things like your regular LED lights. But if you want to do a pixel light, which is those matrix that you see that run graphics, that's going to be a different type of controller. They call them like PixieCons or Pixie 8s for Light-O-Rama. Some of the packages, all of that comes as a bundle. So if you don't have props and things or Megatrees, it might be more cost effective for you to look at a bundle. And no, companies like Light-O-Rama, they do a spring and summer sale. So if you want to get your Showtime director and get a couple controllers and maybe some props, that's a great time to do it. Wow Lights is somehow connected, I believe, to Light-O-Rama. I might be wrong on that, but their equipment seems to be compatible with Light-O-Rama. They have a lot of props and they have a lot of packages. So I've gotten things from Wow Lights, and Light-O-Rama I can't speak enough about. I know that there are other folks out there that use those other companies and other things, but Light-O-Rama, yeah, I love them 100%. As someone newer, it was great to have the ability to go ahead and put in a ticket. So, hey everybody, I see some folks joining. I'm doing the trombone here with my eyes to see. It's so tiny, but thank you guys for joining in. I really appreciate everybody hopping on. And today we're just talking about a light show, how to think about getting ready to do a light show. Now is a great time if you're thinking about 2026. And I'm just going over the 3 things that for me really helped to kind of strategize to get my light show going in 2017. So the first one was budget, knowing your budget when you're thinking about doing it. And then the second one is, again, your skill level. So for me, I was novice. I had no skill level whatsoever. I didn't know what a Cat5 cable was, and if you don't know, that's okay. You're gonna learn it. But I had a steep learning curve, to say the least, to be able to run this equipment. And now I know what a Cat5 cable is. I'm able to run electrical cords. I'm able to build electrical cords as well. So yeah, oh, hi everybody. I see a whole bunch coming on there. And I'm just, again, I'm a little new to TikTok, so I apologize. There we go. So when you're thinking about things, think about your skill level. Light-O-Rama, again, just to plug them because I love that company. They have plug and play options. That wasn't available when I first started out, so I did have to learn to sequence. There wasn't auto sequencing, so I had learned how to sequence the whole light show. I was able to use another company is called Audacity, and I use that to mix my music. So all of my light shows have original music that I've mixed, and every year I theme it. So this year we have a bit of a Grinch meets Home Alone. They're my son's favorite Christmas movies right now, so that's why we went with that theme. And I just go ahead and kind of mix my music. I take the month of January off because I'm exhausted. And so for me, the light show encompasses about 11 months of my year. So January I take off, but as soon as February starts, I am mixing my music, getting ready for that year's show. And usually in January, I'm kind of thinking about what my theme is. Like I said, my kiddo kind of dictates a lot of the show. Last year he loved Frozen, so we had incorporated that. But what I think about when I'm doing my show is I want to make sure that it's diverse, that it's really hitting all of the groups that would come to our house, the age groups. I don't want to just have dubstep music. I don't want to just have old classics. I want to mix everything in. So for me, mixing the music is really important. When you are doing a plug and play show, although the skill level is much easier, Light-O-Rama in particular will give you a little setup of what your yard can look like. So that way it's really, really simple to plug your props in and it will just run. You get an SD card. There are SD cards with the plug and play that you can go ahead and edit. They are a little bit more expensive. With the regular plug and plays you get, the only thing that I struggle with those is that you get the music and you get the show and you can't really alter that. So you'd have to get one of the ones that you can alter. And for me, I really like to alter the music. I cut down the songs too because it's a lot. And I think about being a mom and being out there in a car with my kiddos. If they don't like the song and now they've got to sit through 3 minutes of that song, they are not gonna like that. So I try to do about 30 seconds to a minute of a song and then I change it up and go, and I might have 1 or 2 full songs within the light show. So just some things to think about, and again it kind of goes back to your skill level. Do you want to mix music? Do you want to sequence? Or do you want something that's plug and play? And that will fall back into that budget that we've already talked about. So some things to think about. Check out the companies, like I said, Light-O-Rama, X-Lights, those things. Check them out, see what they have to offer, see what the price ranges are, and see what the skill levels are, because some of them you will have to build some of the equipment. So just take that into consideration when you are thinking about doing a light show. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is your time. So I kind of mentioned already that our light show takes up about 11 months of my year. I will program at night after I get the kiddo to bed. I will be up for about an hour or so programming. It takes me to do my show about 300 to 320 hours of programming. Again, I don't use auto sequence. I should say I generally don't use auto sequence, but we have a talking tree this year named Felix, and I did use auto sequence for him. It helps with the mouth and the eye movements. That was a little bit hard for me, and I don't have a lot of pixels and those kind of props, so it was a bit of a learning experience. So I do have a pixel tree, and then I have a few RGB floodlights, and I would like to add some more pixels, but they're expensive, so we'll get there in due time. But so think about those things. So your time, and not only time to sequence, but also time to put the whole display up. If you are somebody that believes wholeheartedly that you should not decorate until after Thanksgiving, doing a big light show may be tough. Not saying that it's not doable, but it is tough. And also depending on where you live. If you're in an area that's gets a lot of snow and ice early, a light show could be a little difficult for you to get out, end of November. So for us here, we actually start putting our light show out mid-October. Right before I decorate for Halloween, I run a lot of our cables and things like that go underneath the Halloween. We cover it with Halloween, but if you look closely, sometimes you can see a snowflake popping out on the house somewhere, because it does take us several weeks to get our show up. And there is no way that I could do it right after Thanksgiving. We would be probably operational by Christmas if we were lucky, if we did it that way. Hey everybody, see some more folks joining on. Thank you for stopping in today. This is my first live. We had a lot of folks asking about our light show and kind of where to get started and how we got started. So I'm just going over a few things today, really budget, skill level, and time. to put into getting a light show together. So I always think I'm still a bit of a novice. We started our light show in 2017, and I'm always learning myself, but I thought, hey, if I can do it, everybody can pretty much do it. So I had zero skill level going into it. I've been learning as I've been going. And if I can help or encourage someone else to do a light show, I hope that's what we're doing here. So that's what I want to accomplish. But I'm always around. You can definitely give me a message, ask me any questions that you have regarding putting a light show together. Another really great resource, if you don't have a lot of experience and you're not sure, there are videos called Luminous Harmony, and they really highlight Lightorama and the equipment, and it's a great how-to, and they have everything on there, from setting up your first Showtime director to operating a pixel tree, all these different things. It really, Luminous Harmony should be where you are starting if you are thinking about doing Lightorama. And getting on the groups now, asking questions, maybe not right now because it's the busy time for everybody. We're out there troubleshooting and also just enjoying. Like, I love when people stop by and I can hear sometimes the kids from inside the house and they're just so excited. And it absolutely warms my heart. That is why we do this. So to see the magic happening in their eyes is 100% just worth all of the trouble, all of the things, all of the being out there when it's snowy and cold, trying to troubleshoot something. So I highly recommend light shows if you're able to do them. And even if you're not, we did not grow up so blessed. My parents struggled. There was always a lot of love in our household, and my dad always said no matter what happened financially, that he would have our banisters lit with Christmas lights and we would have a tree. And he always kept that promise. And there were some Christmases where we didn't have enough gas to drive around to look at lights, and we walked our neighborhood. So if we can bring a little bit of joy to anybody this Christmas season, that's what this is about. So even if you don't have the ability to do a light show, you don't want to do a light show, but hey, you want to put some lights out, we support you. That is awesome. We love any holiday spirit that we see. And a good cost saver too is if you're new to just Christmas lights in general, try to make sure you get LEDs. They're really cost effective. They've come down in price quite a bit now, and I think they're very commonplace. But you still see some of the old incandescents, and they're okay too, but they are, they're going to take up a lot more energy and they are a lot more expensive. So in the long run with your electric. So definitely try LEDs. They're a great way to go, and you can always use LEDs in your light show. So, if you maybe want to try to put some lights up this year and you're kind of thinking about maybe a light show next year or the years to come, you can't go wrong with LEDs. You can still use them for your light shows too. So I think that is really the three big things. I wrote some notes to myself here just to make sure that I got everything, and I think that I did. So I hope that this answers some of the questions that we were getting. And I hope that we've inspired you this holiday season. So I'll go back in and look at the thread, and if you're on now, I'd love it if you just give me a little thumbs up and let me know that you're here. And if you're watching this on a replay, if you put replay in the comments just so I know. And if you think of anything you'd like to see or ask questions, I can do another live, and we can talk a little bit more in depth about pixel trees or mega trees, about different props. We love to build props, especially for windows, like window frames. I think in the long run, it's so much easier to put them up. And it's such a time saver. So there's a little bit of putting them together in the beginning, but once you have that prop, it is such a time saver later on. So yeah, let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd love me to go over. And if you're just happen to stumble across this live, make sure you go and check out my profile. You'll see our light show there. We love all things holidays, so I do a lot of holiday cooking. In fact, I don't know if you can see, but I literally have flour on my shirt. We were making Christmas cookies earlier, so I've got to do some of the buttercream icing for those later, and then we're going to decorate tomorrow, so we're very excited to do some holiday cookies and just enjoy the holidays. So I hope everybody is having a good evening. I think I've rambled on enough, and I don't see anything in the comments from anybody. So I think, oh, maybe one. Oh, it already went by so quick. So I'll go back in and look. So, hey, I see a couple more folks have joined us. So thank you guys so much. Just a quick recap. Hi. I just went over a little bit about our light show. We've been running one since 2017. And I'm still a novice. I'm still learning as we're going on, but if I can do it, you can do it. We love all things holidays, so even if you're not thinking about doing a light show, please come on to my channel because I do a lot of other things as well regarding the holidays. But I would say our light show is probably the #1 thing or main focus that we do here on this channel. So without further ado, please go check out my videos and follow and share what you like. We always appreciate that. And if anybody has any other questions or you want me to go more in depth on budgets or the sales for Light-O-Rama, hi guys, which is in the spring and in the summer for those sales, go check out Light-O-Rama. Go check out Wow Lights. They have great props, and I believe most of them are compatible with Light-O-Rama, but again, please do your research and make sure, because this stuff changes, and I am definitely not the expert in everything in this field. I'm very much a novice, but again, if I can do it, you guys can do it. It's not that bad. There's a lot of plug and play options, and there's so much help and support out there for anybody that wants to do this. Join the groups on the other platform. I'm pretty, I have a good following over there, and I am in multiple Light-O-Rama groups and light show groups, and those folks are phenomenal. As long as you are able to say what you're using, your software, what you're having a problem with, they will be able to help you. Just again, understand if you're asking in the middle of November, we're all working on our shows, so there might be a delay in the response there. So again, think about your budgets. Think about what equipment you want. Do you want to do pixels? Do you want to do matrix and all those things, or RGB lights that just change red, blue, and green in different colors, floodlights, or do you want to stick traditional to LEDs? So those are all things to think about within that budget. Get that budget set first. Think about your skill level. Can you sequence? Are you going to be able to use the software that you're going to need to do to program? If that answer is no, that's okay. I would recommend getting a plug and play option. And then again, going on Luminous Harmony. They have great videos to help everybody. I still go on there if I'm trying to troubleshoot and I can't figure it out. Maybe I don't want to ask in a group. I want to see if I can figure it out first. I go on Luminous Harmony, look at what I'm having a problem with, see if there's something in there, and then try it out. And if it doesn't work, then I go on to one of the platforms and ask a question. But yeah, make sure you do that. And then just think about your time, because it is a bit of a time commitment. If you want to do a show like we're doing, again, plug and play a little easier, but you're still going to have to set up the items. Mega trees take a while to get up, and if you live in cold climate, you want to get that stuff in before the ground gets too solid, or it's just going to make your job a lot harder to get everything in there. So wow, thanks. I see everybody. Hi. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And this has been quite the experience for me as my first live on TikTok. And I will definitely be back, and maybe we'll go over the controllers a little bit more in depth, or the Showtime Director. Unfortunately, all that right now for me is pretty much out being used. I have a few older controllers. Maybe I can dust off from the basement and bring those up to go over. And then maybe next time I won't be covered in flour from making Christmas cookies. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna jump off, and please let me know if you have any ideas for future lives. And I'm here to help if anybody wants to start a light show. So hope we've inspired you this holiday season. Bye!